Hashtag New Year, New Me. Welcome VRChat to another New Year celebration. My name is Nuoance, owner of VRC Group Converse, and let's take a look at the history of VRChat with 75 facts you may not have known. A quick disclaimer, this video was posted in December of 2023. If you see this video and find something here isn't accurate anymore, it's because surprisingly I can't predict the future. This also covers past mechanics that we've entered but no longer are actively part of the game. A challenge for all of you watching. If there's something here you didn't know, subscribe to me on YouTube. Let's start out with some general facts. According to Wikipedia, VRChat first released to the public January 16, 2014, and then on Steam almost 3 years later on February 1st, 2017. There is a camera setting known as multi-layered, which will take 3 photos: the standard photo, the avatars alone, and the environment all at once. When you open your menu and put your cursor over another player's capsule, VRChat calls it the scanning mode. VRChat used to limit groups to hold only up to 10,000 players. Better join ours fast, we're almost there. If you have an error while loading into VRChat, you'll be thrown into the VRChat backrooms. When desktop mode was first added, it was activated by launching the game with no VR attached, instead of what we have now. The New Year's event is the biggest event within VRChat, but it comes with its own surprises. The most popular incident was 2020 to 2021 Party, in which over 40,000 players were on at once, and the TLDR is because that never happened before, the whole kabush was set down, making it impossible to change avatars, worlds, or even log in. You can now see the back of your menus and personal mirrors. If you hold the large menu over your head in a specific spot, it'll spin around. Also, if you open your large menu in half body and walk around, your legs don't move. I want to see your best Michael Jackson impression. Besides the standard 5 user ranks, VRChat has 4 more ranks: Nuisance, Veteran, Legendary, and Moderator. You can gain Nuisance when you've been blocked or kicked from too many worlds. Once you hit Nuisance, you'll be both auto-muted and avatar blocked by default. Veteran was a step above Trusted User, making it the highest rank in the game at the time for players who have contributed to the game. Legendary was an even greater step than that, manually given to the players and creators who have been around from the start and heavily helped VRChat grow to what we see today. Speaking about ranks, you are able to revert your rank to user rank if you're known or trusted by clicking on the rank in your profile menu. You can also switch back at any time. Back when VRChat first started out, there was a call moderator button that would let someone know that you needed a moderator in that instance. If you made your account through Steam, you'll be unable to rank up until you connect your account to a VRChat one. That's also why you have those little numbers next to your name. VRChat launched VRC Plus December 3rd, 2020, which gave players the ability to send photos, add more favorites, and have a profile icon. At the same time, their new mascot was revealed, VRCat, who had a limited time markable plushie that you could pre-order on Makeshift. If you didn't buy VRChat Plus before the end of 2022, you can no longer get the early supporter badge. And if you ever lose your friends in a large map, pull out your cameras and open your menu. You'll be able to see a red line where your friends' cameras are from any distance. Next up are avatar and world facts. Before setting your own home world was an option, players would spawn into a world known as the Hub. This was a place that would have new and interesting worlds posted so that players knew what was new and popular spots to check out. The popular toothbrush avatar was created by a user known as Blueasis. And the infamous Knuckle meme started out as a bit from YouTuber Gregzilla, which was then taken by artist Tidiest Flyer and turned into the force we saw overtake VRChat. At one point, the default robot you see when you hide someone's avatar was labeled medium quality. This has now been changed to blocked. 2.0 Worlds originally had a floating feature where you could jump and wiggle your control stick in a direction to float towards something while falling. 3.0 Udon patched this out and requires a separate code to give the same effect. The Great Pug is the first community world to have hit 10 million visitors. Every October, VRChat hosts a contest known as Spookyality, where players can showcase their worlds and avatars that fit a Halloween theme, such as the Smile Room. You know, covering the Smile Room, the creator, It's Cripsy, uses mocap technology to record their animation movements for all the characters within the map. He also had another horror project called Wreck that seemed to have never made it to public eyes. This map seemed to be held in an asylum with over 150 rooms to explore. Also, the Smile Room was inspired by Poppy's Playtime, Visage, Silent Hill PT, and the Backrooms. Another horror world called Rar's Rides was a theme park style ride where you sit and immerse yourself in the story of 2 girls being held captive in a mansion of murderers. The reason I bring this up though is because it had a lesser chance of making you motion sick, and that's because instead of you moving around the world would actually move around you. You're only pulled around a handful of times, and most of these are just repositionings. The Devouring is another well-known horror map that made its debut in VRChat, but is also getting its own standalone adaptation. If you love The Devouring, go check out my 101 facts about its development to get a deeper appreciation for the hard work. Popular party map Drinking Night was originally created as a solo project meant to stay private for friends. However, the influx of people inviting their friends made the creator upload it before finishing. Funnily enough, although Drinking Night has over 10 different rooms made for games, it's not considered a game map. Also, a while back ago, switching avatars would reset your avatar completely. Now when changing into an avatar or loading into a new world, your avatar would stay how you used previously. There also wasn't the favorite avatar function at first, so if you liked an avatar and switched out, you need to hunt for that avatar again in the world that you found it. Another old function was the poly limit, which used to be maxed out at 20k versus the 70k we see today. This also wasn't the worst of it because VRChat would not allow you to update an avatar that was over 20k. Speaking about avatars, if you uploaded any avatars back when VRChat was using Unity version 5.6.3, if you stick your arm through a mirror, you'll be surprised to see your reflection reaching out towards you. Safety settings, a tool we use daily within the game, wasn't even available up until 2018. Before then, you'd load every single avatar in an instance, and the only way to hide an avatar was to block that person in question. And even older, world builders didn't always have community labs. Instead, there was a list of worlds that were submitted for upload, and a moderator would have to go through and approve them. Also, at one point, the safety settings menu was incorrectly coded to show the attempt at italics instead of actually being italicized. We also didn't have fizz bones at first, and instead used a paid Unity asset known as dynamic bones to allow movement for hair, clothes, and other things. But not only that, a standard player would be unable to touch other players' dynamic bones. If a player doesn't have the interact with portal setting on, you can actually throw someone into a portal and they'll go right through. Before cheaper options like slime tracking were available, users would use a rigged Xbox Kinect sensor to gain full body tracking. Back when MMDs were still standard, avatars had to be edited to fit full body compatibility. And even worse, some of these avatars didn't even have visemes. When you change a setting to your world through VRChat's website, for example, disabling the scaling tool, it'll incorrectly state that the world has been updated, even if it hasn't been. Community facts. VRChat has been live-streamed both ways at conventions where players could see con-goers and vice versa. This also happened during DJ events where players could either party in VR or in a live setting. VRChat has been used as a film medium by many creatives, one which ended up making a debut on HBO. Probably not the only one, but one film team known for their upcoming project Into the Metaverse has avatars dedicated for setting up each scene, such as lights, camera, and of course, action. There are also some VRChat musicians who debut their music and music videos solely using VRChat as well. Flow, the band that's responsible for the Code Geass theme songs, hosted a paid VRChat exclusive concert. The VA for Lelouch, Jun Fukuyama, was also present for said event. These tickets were 6,600 yen for the basic entry, and for 13,200 yen you would get avatars to commemorate the experience. Music on the Mind, Tube VR collaborated with Rise Above the Disorder to host a DJ charity event that raised over $22,000 for people who needed therapy but couldn't afford it. Recently, there was another charity, Transcend VR, that also raised roughly $20,000 to be donated to the transgender community in America. A company called Hiki hosts an event called the Virtual Marketplace, a giant bazaar that, depending on the theme, showcases different kinds of content from small and large businesses alike. The themes are VCat Market, Game VCat, Comic VCat, and Music VCat. There are different mascots for each theme, but the main mascot is called VCat Channel 1, with her follow-up name VCat Channel 2. VCat Channel also has a limited edition Gamer Subs Cup as a collaboration with Waifu Cups. And while you can still visit some of the market spaces, there are some that are lost to time and unavailable for the public to return to. This is because of big, scary business deals. Due to the lack of gestures on default models, the deaf community created their own VR sign language, which you can still learn and practice today either on your own or through communities such as Helping Hands. There's also a community known as Prefabs dedicated to sharing and expanding knowledge on how to build worlds and avatars within the game. This community hosts events for creators to show off their projects in hopes to get their name out there as well as for feedback. Speaking about communities and prefabs, they used to host a yearly event known as TLX, which creators would give their own virtual version of a TED Talk and share tips, build experiences, and other things. VRChat is well integrated with VTubers, having one of HoloLive's own, Hakobalez, use the game as their main platform to stream. VRChat has also worked with other HoloLive members in the past and hopefully the future. Hit me up. I have nothing worth to give you. Ooh, controversial facts. Shh. When EAC was first implemented, VRChat took its largest rating hit, and angry players were leaving negative reviews about the lack of accessibility. Though VRChat quickly jumped on these demands, adding things like earmuffs, tech box option, and a bloom intensity setting, and also a personal mirror because we can't survive a second without it. Also, at one point, there was a trend where players decorated their nameplates. This was quickly removed, potentially because of the VRC Plus or Groups edition to come later on. VRChat hosts a community that is dedicated for users to submit their suggestions, bugs, and concerns. If you're wanting change, make your voice heard by jumping into it and being active. Also, despite the amount of people who claim otherwise, when looking at the metrics during the weekend, the people who access VRChat via Steam versus Viewpoint or Crest is almost on par. And finally, the most controversial fact of all, phantom sense can potentially be a real thing, depending on what you consider this sense to be. Look forward to a revisit of one of my most well-known videos talking about this heavily debatable topic, available in 2024 on YouTube. How many did you know? Which facts surprised you? Once again, I hope everyone's having a fantastic time during their New Year celebrations, and if you're looking for a space to meet, greet, and find some neat spaces to rest your feet, join us at Converse, a VRC group dedicated to the growth and exposure of VRChat within game nights, world explorers, community builds, and plenty more. Enjoy your night. Nuoance is out.